and let it go. And so, with Oregon missing its two top players, they're going to have to find a way to score, but we have got a great night here. Everyone in the state of Oregon is tuned in and ready to see their mighty Ducks fly with wings of their own. And Moses Brown, for the second time in 2 straight weeks that we've had him, he steals the tip.
Yeah,
He's the tallest guy. It's supposed to be the shortest guy that steals the tip.
The starting 5 for Oregon, led by Peyton Pritchard. Here's their leading scorer. The Ducks without maybe their 2 best players, with Bull out for the season, and Kenny Wooten, as the Bruins get a basket in transition to start the game.
Jalen Hands, up and down. That is his game. As gifted as there is a young wing player, perimeter guy who can get it done in all ways. Zone defense by the Bruins.
Here's Luke King, freshman from Jersey City. He's got to pick up the scoring load with the injuries that Oregon has. 3-ball, not good for Bailey, rebounded by Jalen Hands.
Key change for the Bruins has been the insertion of Chris Smith into the starting lineup. 6'9", completely versatile. But really, it's the freedom, it's the creativity, it's the imagination of superb athletes who can just fly up and down. And they've got the big man, Moses, delivering, carving, dictating terms of the tempo.
Here's Pritchard off the screen. And Bailey going to try it again, not close.
Watch your face.
Down court, though, he gets the steal, and that pass intended for Smith.
That's a dribbling violation by Victor Bailey, a promising sophomore, athletic talent to die for. This guy, traveling violation there.
Rough start for Oregon on offense. Defensively, the Ducks have been good all year, leading the conference in fewest points allowed, field goal defense, and defending the three-point shot.
They have a phenomenal coach. Dana Altman should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame right now. His peers are already all there. He just hasn't been given the credit and recognition to this point.
Yeah, one of 6 active coaches, 21 straight winning seasons.
Lewis King, just a diamond, a pure gem, getting started, 19 years old. Lewis King. This press, which was magnificent for the Ducks against the Beavers here Saturday night at Matthew Knight Arena. How will the Bruins respond to it? They practiced against it all morning.
Here's Ali, lobs it up for Brown.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever thrown a Frisbee?
Did that look like a Frisbee? That's a bad pass there. That looked like a Frisbee, that pass there by Pritchard in the backcourt.
A Frisbee, you can just throw it up anywhere, and the wind is going to take it.
Now I get where you're going.
Oh, what's taking you so long? Apparently you've never thrown a Frisbee.
It's only been 7 years, although that one was thrown right at the rim. He just had to jump straight up.
He is one big guy. That's a traveling violation. Great defense, Peyton Pritchard.
Already 3 turnovers by the Bruins here.
They don't care about that. It's not how many turnovers you have. It's the attack mode. What's the mantra? I don't want turnovers, but if we have turnovers, as long as they're of commission, not out of omission, we'll be fine.
Right, it's all about possessions.
Well,
here we are in Eugene. Dave Pasch and Hall of Famer Bill Walton. The Bruins and the Ducks. Oregon picked to win the conference. UCLA picked second. Both teams have dealt with a lot. Injuries for Oregon, a coaching change for the Bruins. But it's a wide open league, and we got a long way to go. The Bruins, maybe they've turned things around. They've won their first 2 games in conference play. Oregon lost to Oregon State over the weekend. And as Chris Wilkes nails that jumper, the Bruins with the early 1-point lead.
Bruins are looking very poised, very confident, and relaxed out there. They know the incredible difficulty of playing in this building against this great crowd here in Oregon.
Heading into UCLA in Oregon, Dave Pasch and Bill Walton.
Right, it's all about possessions. Here we are in Eugene. Dave Pasch and Hall of Famer Bill Walton. The Bruins and the Ducks. Oregon picked to win the conference. UCLA picked second. Both teams have dealt with a lot. Injuries for Oregon, a coaching change for the Bruins. But it's a wide open league, and we got a long way to go. The Bruins, maybe they've turned things around. They've won their first 2 games in conference play. Oregon lost to Oregon State over the weekend. And as Chris Wilkes nails that jumper, the Bruins with the early 1-point lead.
Bruins are looking very poised, very confident, and relaxed out there. They know the incredible difficulty of playing in this building against this great crowd here in Oregon. Phenomenal rivalry between the Ducks and the Bruins.
UCLA has not won here since 2014. That's 4 straight losses in Eugene. And there's Murray Bartow, the interim head coach,
whose dad is in the College Basketball Hall of Fame and who used to coach the UCLA Bruins, Gene Bartow. Whoa.
Another bad pass that knocks Popcorn into the front row. Almost got Phil Knight as well, who's sitting right there.
Is it popcorn day today?
No, don't do that again. Peyton Pritchard, the leading scorer for Oregon at 12 points per game. Bol out for the season, the super freshman. And Kenny Wooten, a broken jaw, one of their best rebounders and shot blockers. He's out with a broken jaw as Wilkes powers his way for his 2nd straight field goal. There's Wooten. They hope to get him back in the next couple of weeks.
He is a phenomenal talent. And when he'll play in a couple weeks, they hope, they think, then things will be a lot different for this Duck team, which struggles to score mightily. Oh, not Miles Morris.
Got 16 minutes the other night. He's been forced to play because of the injuries. They have only 8 scholarship players available tonight.
8's enough.
Look at the 5 that start for UCLA. Chris Smith has been the only change by Murray Bartow in the starting 5. Prince Ali has shot the ball very well the last few games.
I loved hearing from Murray Bartow today in practice. Our goal is to get to 90 points. I'll be satisfied if we get to 90. That'll give us a great chance to win.
They had 92 against Stanford, 98 against Cal in the first 2 conference games.
Home games, totally different. Send it back, Moses. No, too good by Paul White. Senior, Chicago via Georgetown.
And don't you think, Bill, for UCLA, it's going to be about the toughness on the road? Do they have mental and physical toughness?
Without question. And that's where the leadership comes in, on-court leadership. Murray Bartow trying to instill that in practice today. He's on edge. When he was the assistant coach, it was totally different. Now he comes in and he's hoarse as can be. He's been yelling so much. Shades of Bill Sharman, be careful. Lot of just, everybody's has become comfortably numb. One nation under sedation. But now, here it is. It's just wide open again. And people are smiling and people are happy. That's what sports and college and playing is all about. You see the great assistants he has, Dwayne Broussard, Tyus Edney, last great Bruin champion still standing.
And there's Corey Alford as well.
Fantastic. Sorry, I missed Corey. Sorry.
Yep, there's Corey.
I miss a lot. That guy's
son.
an awesome dude. Smart as can be, great analytical mind. Tremendous future ahead of him.
UCLA sticking with that zone. Here's Pritchard. Bruins with a 3-point lead. 5 minutes gone by. Will Richardson gets it to go over Moses Brown, and that ain't easy.
He's bigger this week than he was last week. Dana Altman in practice today was talking about the length of this guy. I know you're not old enough, but in the early days of Kareem, over the top, throw it down.
That's 2 alley-oop jams by Brown.
In the early days of Kareem, the other team would practice with tennis rackets to get the sense of what it's like against somebody with that size. Today, a lot of players are that size. I still have yet to see a player as good as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Well, how about Kareem in his first game? He had 56 points. Everybody raving as Paul White knocks down the 3. And we are tied at 14. That's big because the Ducks lack shooting. If they can get that from White, only 34% on the year from 3. Lob to Brown, broken up.
Miles Norris just playing terrific basketball from Helix High School in La Mesa, California.
That's where you went, right?
We went to the same high school. There's a lot of us here tonight.
More than just the 2 of you?
Yes.
Well,
Chris Carlson, the Associate Athletic Director at UCLA.
Anybody that the fans listening would know, like former players or anything?
Well, let me think about that.
Well, you said a lot of us, and you named 3, including yourself. Here's a rebound by Richardson, so they get a second chance opportunity, but he didn't go right back up.
Yeah. Have you noticed number 1 out there? And this Pac-12 has another superb big man in Kyler Kelly at Oregon State.
Pritchard's 3, no good. Rebounded by Jalen Hands.
I saw Kyler Kelly here on Saturday night. Whoa. That guy's a game changer.
Chris Wilkes in transition gets the basket.
So the hunger, when you're on a great team, you have to be selfless, but you have to be hungry at the same time. And Chris Wilkes is showing exactly how to do that. Now, he and Moses Brown, they're different than a lot of guys. They have a different body language at morning practice than they do here at the games at night. Great defense.
Swatted out of there, Wilkes.
But the toughness of Chris Wilkes, mental, physical, fantastic.
Smith lost the dribble, turned it over. Now here's King. Wilkes will challenge, and close to a travel. Mike Reed, who is the crew chief, is over there saying he juggled the ball, so he didn't have possession, therefore no travel on that first step.
Lewis King, the second youngest of 8 children from Jersey City. In the last year, he's had 2 major knee surgeries. His right knee, ACL, reconstruction. Left knee, cartilage surgery. Injuries, boy, the breaks of the game.
Well, speaking of injuries, with King finally healthy, Bull is out for the season after the knee injury. Kenny Woot with the broken jaw on December 21st. They hope to get him back in the next couple weeks. Abu Kijab transfers to Boise State. He was a guy that would come off the bench and give him a few minutes as Hill gets the dunk inside. By the way, 2 fouls.
You could not have played that any worse defensively. On a baseline out of bounds, you give their postman a wide open slam dunk, please.
They got Lewis King for the foul on the other end, the second foul in Oregon.
We've got it all tonight. We've got Moses, we got an Egyptian Pharaoh here, number 4 for the Ducks.
White able to clean it up inside, and he's fouled. Well, we told you that there are a lot of injuries on the Ducks, so when you're hurt, what do? Well, you go to a rehabilitation center for birds. At least that's what Bill did to try to find out how to heal.
Of our training.
We try to have that on our team, too. How cool is this? Thank you, kid. Thank you, Zach. And Dante, yeah, let's get out and fly away. Here we go.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
that was fantastic.
first of all, he's saying trust a bird of prey as he's tearing to pieces a rabbit.
Yeah, well, raptors are animals that feed or catch their prey with their feet. They don't use their beaks. Their beaks are very calm and very gentle because their beak is what allows them to eat. So they can't just smash into things. You're going 200 miles an hour. You ever been going that fast? Away from me, I take that. But what Kit and Zach and Louise are doing out there on the slopes of Spencer Butte, south of town here, absolutely spectacular. And there's a duck right there. 10,000 species of birds in the world.
In sports, UCLA is 8 of 9 from the floor with a 1-point lead over the Ducks here. And they have 7 turnovers, though. 8 baskets and 7 turnovers in the first half.
Who has 7? UCLA?
UCLA. 4 by Wilkes.
They're winning.
Shot clock at 7. Here's Amin getting into the paint. Finds Bailey. And rebounded by Bernard.
Jules Bernard, his mom Christine is here tonight. These lobs are killing the Ducks.
That's Jalen Hill with the throwdown. They don't have a rim protector with Bull out for the season. That was something that Dane Altman was very concerned about coming into tonight, and already 4 Bruin dunks.
They're relying on 4 freshman recruits who are just getting started here. But they're matching the Bruins point for point. And over the course of time, the shorthanded Ducks, they'll wear out. Traveling violation. Number 0, Will Richardson, just a freshman from down by Savannah, Georgia. I walked in today, Saturday night when he played, he had a Jimi Hendrix throw that would have blown you away. And I walked in today, I said, who's this new guy? One of 4 left-handers on Dana Altman's team this year. Victor Bailey, Will Richardson, Will Johnson, who's Marcus Johnson's grandson, and then Luke Osborne.
You look at those ranks for Oregon, and again, of their 14 games, Bull played in 9 of them, so it's a little bit misleading, but Dane Altman's teams are usually very good defensively.
I'm sad I never got to see Bull play.
Me too.
I played against his dad. Beautiful play. Jules Bernard. Murray Bartow's biggest challenge is going to be minutes for guys. And they got so many players here. And two critical ones are out there right now. Cody Riley anchoring the middle of the zone, and then Jalen Hill, the big, tough, rugged guys who will put the fear of God in the opposition with their strength and power.
Okoro, nice move by the freshman from Nigeria, went to high school in Illinois. He reclassified, skipped his senior year of high school to enroll at Oregon. David Singleton has played very well the last couple of games for the Bruins. He's a freshman from LA. He's in there right now.
And the Bruins all say that he has the most natural and beautiful, purest stroke offensively of any of them. I've yet to see it. But he is a good basketball player.
We'll see it here.
Whoa, just missed.
Rebounded by Lewis King.
Dana Altman's going to need more from Francis Okoro, the Nigerian future king.
In and out for King. That's his last name, Lewis.
I'm just going to call him King Louis IV because he is Louis King IV. Are you the second, third, or fourth, or 10th?
The first. The steal by Amin.
Oh,
he boots it.
The Egyptian Pharaoh can't find it. What a play. Just like you draw it up.
Off of UCLA. Saturday, ACC College Hoop doubleheader for you on ESPN at noon. North Carolina, that impressive win at NC State the other night, taking on Louisville, and then Zion Williamson. How about that 30-point game?
He's awesome.
For Duke at Wake. Now they're in Tallahassee to take on Florida State.
That guy, Mike Krzyzewski, he's a really good coach. And you know, one of the things that I love watching about his team play is how much fun they're having when they're playing. They're smiling, they're laughing, they're working super hard, they're in great condition.
They're better than everybody else. That's why they're having fun with R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson.
Have you ever been on a good team?
Shot clock down to 5. Pritchard drives and kicks.
Great defense, Singleton. Push the ball.
Singleton will at the step through. Wild shot.
Look at that.
Brown goes back up. And finally cleared by Pritchard. Looking to push pace. He'll pull up. Offensive rebound and the putback by Richardson.
When Oregon is beating you on the fast break, you're not getting back on defense, and you don't have good floor balance to begin with.
Another wild shot by Singleton, but he was fouled on the drive. So January 3rd announcing that he was done for the year. Another turnover by UCLA. That's the 9th by the Bruins, but Oregon can't score in transition.
The Egyptian Pharaoh, Ehab Amin, is not being able to finish at the basket area. Wow.
Great finish by Jalen Hill, and he was fouled. Hill very active on the offensive glass early on.
Every team needs the tough guys. You got Moses Brown, who's the big guy. You got the pretty boys on outside. But these two guys, Jalen Hill at the line and then Cody Riley, who was replaced by Chris Smith. Those are the two guys who are going to be the ultimate key when they start playing against the powers. Come out and say, hey, I'm going to tell you how this is going to be. Dictate the terms of the conflict.
Oregon working the perimeter of that UCLA zone. Amin, no good on the 3. Second chance opportunity. Pritchard will try. And he still is scoreless in the game.
Wow.
Yet the Ducks are hanging around, and then a foul call on Oregon. That's on White. That's number 2. So both White and King have 2 fouls.
With the size, strength, and length advantage that the Bruins have, the Ducks are just having a nightmare time getting the ball into the position at the high post in the middle of the key that can break down that zone. Bruins not doing a good enough job on the defensive glass. And Oregon now has turned this into a walk-it-up game.
Wilkes misfires. Boy, UCLA started 9 for 10, and since then they're 2 for 9.
Sustainability. Today, National Cut Your Energy Cost Day. Today, National Eagle Day. I'll get up and fly away. Here we go. Okoro. Throw it down.
That's twice now in the paint. He's made pretty moves down there, Bill.
He's just getting started. And growing up from Nigeria, Akeem Olajuwon was his favorite player, his hero. He's yet to meet Akeem. You old enough to have seen Akeem play?
Of course, stop. Wilkes is fouled. You're old enough to see Bol play, and you haven't seen him play. And now you won't until he's in the NBA next year. Foul called on Pritchard.
There you go, dictating somebody else's future. Let them speak for themselves is what they're going to do next year. Beautiful footwork. This guy is just an incredible physical specimen. Went to high school in Bloomington Normal, where Will Robinson changed the history of the world, became the first black head coach in Division I basketball.
Ali misfires. You read the tweet. You were watching the monitor.
It was up there too fast.
Well, the tweet said he's
fast.
going. This is it. He's going to the NBA next year. So I'm not speaking for Bol.
Okay. The only thing I know is that he's not here.
Thank you. You're very perceptive. White with the steal, taking it away from hands. They got a 3-on-1. White takes it himself. It drops, and he's fouled.
All right. Paul's one of those quiet, work constantly, do everything for the team, never wants the attention or the credit, the recognition, but boy, just invaluable. His willingness to make the big play. He's the old guy on the team out here. Paul White's the senior in a team full of freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, to your point, only 2 guys are left from the Final 14 from 2 years ago. Peyton Pritchard, who was starting as a freshman on that team, and Paul White, who was sitting out that year as a transfer from Georgetown.
You know, usually when you get to the Final Four, that means you got a really good team and everybody's in the NBA the next year. Sad about Dylan Brooks. Surgery, torn ligament in his big toe. Man, that's just really sad because he was playing ball.
Moses Brown fouled. He will go to the line. Speaking of the NBA, we have a doubleheader for you tomorrow night with the Pacers and Knicks at 7:30, followed by Luke Walton's Lakers at the Jazz. No LeBron James. He will be reevaluated in another week. He's going to miss at least 3 more games with that groin injury. And this was your son's quote after a loss Sunday. He was challenging.
Let me read this. What is it?
All right, well,
let me read
you
this.
read, I'll talk. He was challenging Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram in particular to play with more fire and passion, and both did. The next night, they beat Dallas on the road. Both guys played very well.
Did you watch that game last night?
I was there, so yes, I did watch it.
You were there?
Kyle Kuzma, I'm calling the game. Kyle Kuzma had 41.
You were there last night? What a game. Lakers playing with spirit, passion, and pride. How fun is that? Playing it as if it means something to them. Yeah, you play like that, you're going to go a long way.
Good to know you watch your son's games, by the way, as Ali missed
I did
that.
watch it.
You just didn't listen to it then,
No,
apparently.
I watched it. I watched basketball games so that I can see who's playing well.
So you watch with the sound turned down. Huh?
Yes.
Interesting.
With music going, and then I can see who's playing in the flow.
Don't give people watching any ideas, okay?
I believe in freedom of choice. And I know you like to make everybody else's decisions for them, but please.
26-25, UCLA by 1, and Oregon in all kinds of foul trouble right now with 3 different guys with 2 fouls, King, White, and Okoro. And again, they have only 8 scholarship players available tonight.
So you keep saying they only have 8 players. You only play 5 at a time.
Yeah, but Dana Altman wants to play more than 8.
Well, look, if he had Kareem and Magic and Akeem, he'd leave them in the game the whole time. Great defense, the Egyptian Pharaoh. Yes, Alexandria. The Delta of the Nile, one of the world's great rivers.
That's Ehab Amin for those that want to know his name.
A super good dude. You ever been to Egypt? How come Moses Brown's on the bench? Is he in foul trouble? Whoa. Whoa.
Alex Olszynski misses.
Okay.
Tracked down by Ehab Amin.
Let's just have the biggest guy on the court shoot a 3-pointer. Okay.
There's the Moses on the bench. I mean, he can't play 40 minutes.
Okay, how about 37?
Well, he might. He's played about 12 minutes so far. Well, it's possible he could play that much, but
They
he's not ready
substitute
for
too
that.
much. Please. The guy's 19 years old. He's phenomenal. And the more you play, the better you're going to be.
1 point Oregon lead. The Ducks.
You look at all the great teams. They're top players. Another turnover for the Bruins.
That's 11 giveaways. They have 11 baskets.
Will Richardson.
And then a follow by Bailey.
And the fast break clinic. Dana Altman coaching like John Wooden out there. I love to watch Dana in practice. He is so positive, so upbeat. The team never stops moving, and he never stops talking. Always encouraging. Always complimentary, but challenging, demanding. Whoa.
Olashinsky travels. That is the 12th turnover. UCLA has had 20 more turnovers in 2.
Known him since he was a child. When he came to UCLA, I had the privilege of broadcasting his games, and now I learn from him every time I watch and listen to him on television.
Oregon with a 3-point lead over UCLA. The Ducks have forced 12 turnovers and have turned that into 16 points, and that's how they're in the game. A 3 by Victor Bailey, and it's the largest lead tonight for Oregon.
And the Bruins have collapsed, and they've got their second unit, deep second unit in here. The only starter out there. Whoa, how's that not a violation of at least common decency?
It was not an over and back. Good no call. Hands from deep, not there. And a foul on UCLA.
So UCLA's lost momentum. And what are all the starters doing on the bench?
Iwoba picked up the foul.
Is there some disciplinary problems here?
Well, maybe he didn't like the way the starters played. That's why he's got the second unit out there. Jalen Hands is on the floor, but the other guys are bench players. I mean, did you like the way the starters played?
Yes, I did. They were up and down. They were playing, they were scoring.
But they turned the ball over too, though.
They were ahead. And now all the momentum, and this Duck crowd is just fantastically aligned. You know, today we're celebrating birds, ostriches, the guys that keep their head in the sand, right? Wow.
10-0 run by Oregon. It's 35-26.
Keep your
Ducks.
eyes wide open, please. Ostriches with the largest eyes of any animal on land on Earth.
Interesting. Riley has it rejected. Oregon looking to run. Bailey taking it all the way and banks it in.
Fantastic. Victor Bailey, his mom a 3-time Olympian, the 400-meter hurdles, and he's showing the genetics.
12 players were on the list. Meanwhile, Oregon here with a 12-0 run and a 16-1 run over the last 4 minutes.
Please quit saying "of course." That is demeaning to our audience.
I didn't say of course.
You did say "of course." And so when Zion Williamson plays, you can tell that he just loves what he's doing. Look at that defense, Miles Norris. And so what are the cornerstones of the pyramid of success? Industriousness and enthusiasm. You love what you're doing and you're willing to work at it. Everything comes from there. Finally, the first string in. That's an offensive foul.
And that is on Smith, his first.
That works really well in the NFL. You see that picture of Jim Brown that we had on the air the other day? Oh my gosh. It sits in Mike Hopkins' office there at Alaska Airlines Arena, University of Washington.
I wasn't doing that game with you. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Amin misses a 3, rebounded by Moses Brown.
Do you notice a correlation when the Bruins play better when Moses is in the game and Chris Wilkes?
Held ball. It's going to stay with UCLA. 13 turnovers, 11 baskets by the Bruins. And how about Oregon? Peyton Pritchard, who's their leading scorer, has not scored in the game. Yet everybody else has chipped in. Very balanced scoring by the other guys.
There you go again. The Ducks are winning, and you're criticizing guys.
I'm actually giving props to the guys around Pritchard. Yes.
Look, the goal is for the team to win. Having sat next to you for how long has it been?
Very long.
Please. When you win, everybody plays well. When you lose, everybody stinks it up, and it's time to get back to work. It's too slow of the ball movement for the Bruins. Great defense. Egyptian pharaoh.
Also known as Ehab Amin. Brown cleans it up inside and gets the dunk.
Like Yao Ming, although Yao Ming has 7 or 8 inches on Moses Brown.
How about Victor Bailey heating up here? Started slowly, but catching fire late in the half.
This is one of those guys that over the next 3 years, he's going to establish himself as one of the premier guards in the entire Conference of Champions.
He's from Austin, Texas. Bailey, a sophomore, as the Bruins turn it over again.
His dad played in the NFL.
Was a wide receiver. Richardson,
passing,
pass,
throw it down, block shot.
Instead of foul is called on Jalen Hill. That is his second.
Men of Oregon above the rim here. And the kings of this great state, the 33rd state in our union, they're here tonight. Phil Knight sitting to our left. Pat Kilkenny. Those two guys, they built this building. The court's named after Pat. The building is named after Phil's deceased son, Eric Lottenbach, who runs college basketball for all of Nike. There's Phil and Eric right there. And how about Nike? Their gross revenues equal the gross revenues for the major sports, all of them combined. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and college. Put all their money together every year, Nike makes that much money by themselves.
3-second difference between the clocks here at the end of the first half, with Oregon in front by 11.
Great defense by Will Richardson.
Here's Ali. Goes behind the back, and he was fouled by Richardson. That's the 18th foul, so it's going to be a 1-and-1.
So basketball's a game of momentum. And when you let the other team, when you let the other team get it on their home court, how do you get it back? That's why you never take the hammer out. Just keep pounding away. Make the other team be the nail. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, you're talking about Nike. You know, back in the day,
back in the day, Nike didn't exist.
Dana Altman was the head coach of Kansas State. L.A. Gear was the
Steve Jackson.
Yeah. And at the time, Gene Bartow was the head coach at UAB.
Right.
L.A. Gear didn't have any money, so they couldn't bring their wives on like the trips. Right. So not only could they not bring their wives, they had to room together, and Gene Bartow and Dana Altman roomed together on the L.A. Gear trips.
Good.
Dana was like 31, and the late Gene Bartow, Murray's father, was at the time like 50. They were roommates.
You never did read Shoe Dog, did you? You know what the mantra is in the startup world? 1 year to the leer. And with all the talk about UCLA finally getting a charter airplane to come up here, well, look, if you play better, if you win more, if you fill the arenas more, if you drive television ratings, you're going to get the plane. Well, you're going to get the better start times.
It's going to stay with UCLA. Let's finish the half here. We'll get into the charter discussion in the second half when we get into also some of your criteria for the UCLA coaching job, because the charter is an issue, not just for UCLA, but for the entire conference. We'll get to that in the second half.
Well, Larry Scott should address that. And Larry Scott should put some of that money into flying the teams around, please.
2 seconds to go. Ali kicks it out. Wilkes gets it away, and time is good at the buzzer. Freed by Chris Wilkes, much needed.
Play with quickness, play with heart, play with determination. Find a hot hand and just ride that guy all the way to victory. But the problem is that now you've let this great crowd here in Oregon, you let them believe that they have a chance to win. Nobody came in here thinking the Ducks were going to win this game.
Right, the score is upside down based on what people thought coming in. UCLA scoring better than 90 points in its first 2 conference games, but on pace for the mid-60s right now.
How does this song go? Inside out, upside down? Or some combination of that.
And how about, again, the fact that Peyton Pritchard did not score in that first half. He's their leading scorer, and they still have a 7-point lead. Now it's 9 with Bailey continuing to have the hot hand.
Do you believe that poise, confidence, and momentum have anything to do with how these games are played?
Yes.
Okay. Now I feel a lot better.
Chris Wilkes had 6 turnovers in the first half. He did have 9 points. Here's a fall-away jumper that drops. Wilkes, so skilled, sophomore from Indianapolis, 5th in the Pac-12 in scoring coming in.
We need to see if the Bruins are going to come out of this with a victory, something that's going to show that they believe it's going to happen. I see just a lot of stoicism out there.
How about Jalen Hill is starting the second half instead of Chris Smith. They like the activity on the glass from Hill in that first half. Okoro, and they're going to call a foul here on Moses Brown. That's his first.
Great pass in the lane that time for the Duck offense. And that's what you have to do against a team that is bigger and stronger, more physically gifted than you. Drive the ball at the defense.
Bill, you mentioned Bol. He's out for the year. Kenny Wooten, they hope to get him back here in the next couple of weeks. But even then, when you built your team around, first of all, a freshman, you didn't know what you're getting until he actually got here. You knew he was good. And you know, Danny Altman was saying today, we just started to kind of figure out how to play with Bol. So now your whole team changes. It's going to change again when Wooten comes back.
But don't worry about having too much talent. Don't worry about experience overrated. The important thing is you got somebody who has a chance to be a great player. Kenny Wooten is that type of player. I saw him in the weight room on Saturday working with new strength and conditioning coach Evan Van Biesler. Evan replaced Adam Linens, who went to Michael Jordan's Charlotte team in the NBA.
I mean the Hornets.
I can't keep track of them.
It's the Hornets. Okoro picked up his third foul.
Okoro has looked a lot better today than he did against Oregon State on Saturday night.
Hands off the side of the backboard, tracks down the miss. Ali steps inside the arc and hits.
Beautiful. Patience, discipline. Peyton Pritchard has played a superb floor game. The pressure will mount on him if the Bruins can gain momentum here, because then he's going to have to start creating some shots. He was huge down the stretch, and the great comeback by the Ducks eventually short-lived. Whoa.
Lewis King missing badly on the three.
I love Lewis King's game now.
He's going to be really good. He hasn't
really,
played in almost a year. He had that knee injury last January, missed the first 7 games this season.
But, you know, he grew up just idolizing LeBron James was just this perfect specimen, perfect player, perfect everything. It's who you pick as your heroes and role models that are just so important as a young child.
News today about LeBron James. He will be reevaluated in a week. He will not play tomorrow in Utah on ESPN. He will not play in their next 2 games.
How's Dante Exum doing? One of my new favorite players.
He had been playing well, but he's hurt.
Oh.
And in fact, the top 3 point guards for Utah are injured right now. As Wilkes is short, rebounded by Pritchard.
Bruins are not getting the rebounds that they should be in this game.
Oh, Bailey. There was some contact too, but Victor Bailey, after a rough start, has been terrific.
My big concern for the Ducks coming into this game was offense. The Ducks have showed to be the superior offensive team throughout this game, with the exception of the first opening segment.
Bailey has 14 points, a game high. Now we've got a foul on Oregon, the second team foul on the Ducks. It's on Bailey, his first.
Pushing the ball, Peyton Pritchard, and then just when the defense backs off, why would you close out on his right hand when he's a left-handed player?
That's a good point. Here's Ali for 3. It's good.
Beautiful. Ali's got a hot hand now. Get him the ball. And more importantly, start with some defensive pressure. The Bruins are just retreating softly.
Didn't you get the sense after shoot-around today that there was going to be a lot of full-court pressure tonight by UCLA?
No, the pressure was going to be by Oregon.
But I thought UCLA was going to press as well, as Bailey soars to the rim, altered by Brown.
Moses Brown, that's Akeem Olajuwon right there. Force the miss, turn and get the rebound, start the fast break, and they can't even get him the ball when he's wide open down there. If you can't get the ball to the biggest guy in the court, you don't want to get him the ball.
Hands.
Please, Bruins need better ball movement. More passion, more spirit.
Here's White. Too strong on
Look
the 3.
at Moses Brown.
They do get it to Ali, driving and then throwing it away. Another UCLA turn.
That looks very careless. Wow.
When we come back,
And any great coach, any great leader, it starts with being a good person. Someone who's got some integrity, lives a life of honor, credibility. Someone who has values and standards that they stick with. build the culture, create the style, develop an identity of who we are, what we're going to do, and then be a leader who can inspire other people, build a team, build a franchise, and then develop players on the court, more importantly, off the court as well. And then I'll be happy as can be.
Bill, how important will it be for someone to either have A, UCLA ties, or B, somebody who understands coaching and working in a market like Los Angeles? And also style of play, how important will that be?
All of those are factors, but none are as important as the foundational factors that Tim Sullivan just put up on the board, that I wrote for him. So those words are mine. He didn't create that, I did. I'm responsible for what I say and do. And those elements that you bring up are important, are side factors, but until you get the first part right, you know about progression, right? You know about foundations, right? But you gotta want the light on you. You wanna be great. You can't hide. You have to love pressure. You have to love responsibility. You have to love living in a world of uncertainty. You have to be willing to take risks. Those who are not willing to risk going too far will never know how far they can go.
Paul White picked up his third foul.
And that's critical, because he's played well.
Talking to people around UCLA, one of your points was about hiring somebody of integrity. They are going to steer clear from anybody even associated with the FBI investigation.
They should. This is UCLA, as great a place as there's ever been. A place that gave me the life I have.
Do they have to be just a college guy?
No.
Can it be somebody that has NBA experience?
It doesn't even have to be a guy.
Okay.
When Coach Wooden got the job, when Mike Krzyzewski got the job, when Greg Popovich and Phil Jackson and Pat Riley got the job, it wasn't like they were known commodities. They grew into the job. They developed great players. And speaking of Phil Jackson, I need to correct myself from last week when I said that Bob Myers pulled Steve Kerr out of nowhere. Phil Jackson was on Steve Kerr. He was the first guy to go for Steve. And then Bob Myers came in and just snitched.
Nobody remembers you saying that, but I'm sure Phil appreciates you correcting.
No,
Cody Riley with the foul.
I remember what I said.
3 free throws for Miles Norris, so that's a bad foul, putting Norris at the line for 3.
Whoa.
Although he has yet to make a free throw this season.
This season? You're kidding.
Well, he was 0 for 1 coming into the day, and he's 0 for 3 tonight.
Well, I love your accuracy.
They're in the game notes if you just read them. Norris from Helix High School in San Diego.
Helix High School, the jewel of the hills, where we just opened this past summer a brand new $10 million Boys and Girls Club on the grounds of the public schools that I went to. And the opportunity of our community to come together and build this great facility for our future children growing up. Another turnover by the Bruins. Please go to the Boys and Girls Club and work on your game.
Rehab Amin with the steal. He's got 5 steals in the game. Pull up by Will Richardson. And look at Amin. He couldn't tip it in, though. King working hard. Puts it in.
King Louis IV. Yes, he was the King of France. 1920 to 1939. The lone male child of Charles the Simple. And now this King Louis IV has come here to dominate. Well, you can't even hear the whistle play. This crowd is so loud. And Murray Bartow needs a timeout. The Bruins are getting outworked and they're getting crushed. Spencer viewed and the celebration underway here. But one of the things that I learned today is that birds have extensive vertebrae in their cervical spine. 17 for most of the raptors, so they have 270 degrees of neck rotation. Plus they have the binocular vision just like humans.
How many vertebrae do you have?
In my neck?
Overall.
Well, you have 3 parts of your spine. You have the lumbar, the thoracic, and the cervical.
I just meant you personally, not the normal human.
I have just the right number. It's like Mozart's notes. Come on, Egyptian Pharaoh, tease him. Look at that. This
Also
guy's
known
playing
as
fantastic.
Rehab Amin, who misses the shot.
I asked him for permission to call him. Okay, he said it was fine.
He's got 4 steals. Well, you're Bill Walton. What's he going to say?
He said no. You can always say no.
I'm not going to say no.
When you look like me, you get nothing but no.
Amin
Beautiful
gives it up.
play. Goaltending.
And Oregon ups its lead to 11. The Ducks, after a slow offensive start, They've really done a good job pushing tempo. Obviously, defensively, Bill, they forced 17 turnovers in the game.
Nothing slow about the Ducks tonight. The Falcon, which we learned today, the fastest animal on the planet, can fly at 250 miles an hour. Dante, the Golden Eagle, they're limited to only 200 miles an hour.
Meanwhile, Oregon just 3 of 10 from the line, yet an 11-point lead here at home. Ducks trying to get their first win in conference play. UCLA is 2-0 in the league. Amin picking up the foul. That's his first.
It's going to be a great conference season this year.
Who's the favorite right now, do you think?
UCLA has the most talent. They've been that way from the beginning. Arizona's playing better. Utah's got a very good team. Washington playing excellent ball. Oregon State playing good ball. The way these Ducks are playing tonight, you got to throw them in there. Give their credit to the coach to make them believe. Because after Saturday night when Oregon State pounded them, nobody believed in these Ducks anymore. But they believe in themselves today, and that's where you start, and that's great coaching. Make other people believe in a better tomorrow.
You mentioned
Oh,
Arizona.
get him the ball, please.
The Wildcats are 3-0. Who's him? You said get him the ball. Who are you
Moses
talking about?
Brown, the biggest guy in the court.
They call another foul on Amin, his second, and the 15th foul on the Ducks here in the half.
You have got to be able to rifle that ball. Look what Magic Johnson did for Kareem. Just absolutely fantastic. Completely changed the game of basketball. An ability to feed the post.
Prince Ali will go to the free throw line.
Prince Ali at the line, shooting 2.
Princes, we have Pharaohs, we have Moses.
You have a king.
Oh, this is like biblical. This is like history.
Ali gets the first free throw. And the first attempt at the line this half for UCLA.
You know, this wasn't my first time with the Birds of Prey. Before you were born, I was in the Philippines. We won an Emmy for the best environmental documentary. It was fantastic.
We actually did that in a Walton's World like 2 years ago. You don't remember that?
What's your name?
It's a 10-point game. Oregon in front. Peyton Pritchard still no points, but he does have 4 rebounds and 3 assists.
Look, bring that up when they're not winning, okay? Because he's played fantastic, and his story is remarkable. 4-time state champion in the great state of Oregon. He had an AAU team that was coached by his dad that was called Team Fast.
He's from West Lynn, which is outside of Portland. Richardson floater, no, taps it back out wisely. And then cleared by
rebound.
Moses Brown.
Gosh, I love watching him play. I'm looking forward to Moses Brown and Kyler Kelly head-to-head. Offensive foul.
And that's another turnover by Wilkes. That's his 7th and the second personal on Wilkes. One tonight in Champaign.
So this means that all these teams are going to play each other all season long, right? On ESPN?
That's how it works.
Okay,
in
so
yes.
when does Duke play at Virginia? When does Duke play at North Carolina? When does Duke get out there on the road?
Well, they were just on the road 2 nights ago, beat Wake Forest when Zion had that 30-point game. Paul White out to Pritchard for 3.
Look at Lewis the King. Wow. Flying, soaring above the crowd. Like
he missed the shot, rebounded by Moses Brown.
He's trying, please. All you can ask for is effort.
It's amazing that UCLA has more turnovers than baskets yet with 11 minutes on the clock. They're only down 10, missed 3 by Wilkes, and a foul underneath on UCLA.
Well, they're going to call that on UCLA.
Yeah, on Jules Bernard. That is his first and the 14th foul on the Bruins.
So one of the greatest things about my life is that I get to meet all the parents of the players. And I got to meet Jules' mom before the game. It's just fantastic. The pride of a parent. What could be better? College basketball, what we live for. Okay, now how is this offense going to happen for the Ducks?
They work it around to Bailey.
This guy Will Richardson playing well up top. I did like his Jimi Hendrix haircut, though.
White is a very good decision maker in the high post. He took the shot that time and buried it.
We talked about the painter, Alejandro, the upside down painting. Jimi Hendrix used to play the guitar upside down. Beautiful play. Penetration and dish. Is that Prince Ali?
That was Prince Ali.
That guy's having a great game.
Hendricks play with his left hand. That doesn't necessarily mean that the guitar is upside down, does it?
No, he played it behind his head and upside down. And, boy, you are young.
Alley-oop for Brown. Great catch in traffic and stop.
Footwork, balance, and quickness, anticipation, determination. He's got it all.
He's a freshman from Queens. McDonald's All-American. High arcing three by Lewis King.
So Lewis King on Saturday night against the great shot blocker Kyler Kelly, he was throwing up rainbows that looked like they had no chance, and they did draw. They draw net, they drew iron. It was fantastic game.
Here's Hands
Whoa,
taking it
offensive
strong.
foul.
Another turnover by UCLA. That's the first foul on Hands.
Paul White has played brilliantly tonight. But when Moses Brown throws it down on one end and the Ducks get a fast break out of the other team's throwdown, that is great strategy. That is great leadership. That's great encouragement by Dana Altman. There's King Louis of France. 19, what does that say, 36 to, no,
900,
sorry.
There's no one in there.
This is a bit before my time. Man, where'd you get a picture from somebody who's that old? That's 1,000 years old.
It's not a live shot.
It's not a live shot? Look, digital.
Another high arcing three, and King swishes it home. He's got 3 3-pointers tonight. He had 8 all season coming in.
How did Chris Mullen let this guy out of the metro area of New York? How about St. John's in the top 25?
Mullen doing a great job there. 14-point lead. Knowing that they're going to play good D.
It's all about offense. And I'm tired of you talking about how, you know, a team makes the... Where have you been in terms of criticizing Jay Wright? They're not in the top 25
I didn't
this
criticize
year.
Dana. I'm just making the point that they missed the tournament last year as an Oregon foul and saying that they
lose
normally
players.
get better.
It's hard. You have to... It's not like Eugene is the greatest recruiting magnet in the world.
In fact, last year they lost Troy Brown. He went to the NBA.
How's he doing there?
He's barely playing. He's playing about 5 minutes a game. But the point is that was Dana Altman's first one and done. The guys that left off the Final Four team, Dylan Brooks was a sophomore.
Jordan Bell.
Jordan Bell was a junior.
Tyler Dorsey is with Atlanta.
He was a sophomore.
All
I
those
think Brooks
guys.
was a junior, actually. Dorsey was a sophomore.
How many NBA championship rings does Jordan Bell have? 2 or 1?
He's got 2, right?
Okay. And Chris Boucher. Isn't he with Toronto? I believe he is.
14-point lead. Riley at the free throw line.
Oh,
another miss at the stripe for UCLA.
Okay,
now
so
5 of 11.
turnovers and missed free throws. How do you expect to win? Bruins are acting after the first 5 minutes of this game as if the Ducks are just going to give up, and that's never going to happen with the men of Oregon.
So let's get back to the conversation. It's actually going somewhere with it. I wanted to ask you whether, because the Pac-12's wide open, can Oregon compete for a championship if Kenny Wooten comes back, assuming he does here in a couple weeks?
If they play like this. But you don't know how they're going to. They did not play like this on Saturday when they got pounded by their arch rival, the longest running rivalry in the history of college basketball.
Oregon State's a good team, though.
They're a very good team, and they're healthy. Trace Tinkle is healthy, and that's critical. Sean Miller said something fantastic today, which I hadn't really thought of. He said that November and December are now the most important months of the season.
And a foul called here in UCLA. And back in a moment with a 14-point lead for the Ducks.
And I'm sad that it's come to that.
At noon, followed by Duke and Florida State. The Seminoles with a recent loss at Virginia. That's our Sonic blockbuster game.
Louisville trying to climb back up. Chris Mack, excellent. He fits all those characteristics I talked about it earlier on.
So you're saying he should be a candidate for the UCLA job?
Be a candidate for anything. This guy, Victor Bailey, they are torching for UCLA zone defense.
By the way, we talked a lot.
But look at Bill Bowerman. What Bill Bowerman did for Phil Knight and all the incredible athletes became men of Oregon.
Riley fouled him, put back attempt, he'll go to the line. We were talking a lot about Zion Williamson for good reason, but how about R.J. Barrett and the year that he's had as a freshman from Canada?
Nobody makes it to the top alone. I mean, you and your stats over there, you're just like trying to cause dissension. It's like when you call the Warriors games and you start bad-mouthing guys who are feeding the hot hand. Come on, give them a break. This guy is fantastic. And
Thought you didn't listen to the games I broadcast. That was your point in the first
I didn't
half.
say that.
The
I have
Godfather,
nothing personal against you. What's your name again?
RJ's Godfather is Steve Nash.
Right. I mean, so
One of your favorite players of all time, at least one of your favorite guards.
one of my favorite players of all time, one of my favorite people of all time. And did anybody think he was going to be a great NBA player? They robbed him of his third straight MVP, Steve Nash.
Didn't Dirk win it that year, though?
Yes, he did.
I wouldn't say he got robbed. Dirk
I
had a
was
great
there.
year.
You weren't born yet. Please. I was there.
I was working with you, though.
I was at the game.
I was working with you.
When the league final standings were determined, and Steve was such the greater player. And you know how hard it is to win an MVP? You know how hard it is to win 2 MVPs and then 3 in a row? Oh my gosh. That's not an award you just pass around because somebody hasn't won it before.
Lewis King just picked up his 4th foul.
That's critical here. A ton of time here. The Bruins just so.
Hands misses from deep. And a UCLA foul. The Bruins are 3 of 17 from 3.
Bruins
Wilkes
don't
just got called for his 3rd foul.
They don't look like they know how hard it is to win in this building or just to win a road game. Please. You have to come out from the opening tip and just put the hammer down and never look back. Mike Krzyzewski, he does that with this great team that he has down there.
Well, look, it's a challenge if you're Murray Bartow because you're not the voice that they've been hearing all season long. And all of a sudden, mid-season, there's a coaching change. You move over a chair.
Well, that's okay. But you're assuming that these guys were listening.
No, but the point is that Steve Alford was the main voice. The head coach normally isn't, especially with this group. When we were at shoot-around or practice, he did most of the talking.
He did all the talking.
Okay.
He'll lose his voice. Terrible turnover here. The Bruins had tuned out that other.
Well, and obviously the administration felt that way, and that's why they made the change. 20 turnovers by UCLA in the game.
But look at the way the Ducks are attacking the zone. Crisp passing, getting it to a hot hand. Great move.
Paul White powers it home, and the lead is up to 17 now for the Ducks. Paul White with 16 points, coming off a season-high 15 in his last game.
The Bruins are being run out. I mean, this is track town. They're rebuilding Hayward Field, excuse me. The legends, Bill Bowerman, Bill Dellinger, Frank Morris, all the coaches, they just got to be ecstatic.
David Singleton with the basket, but UCLA down 15, and they have as many turnovers as baskets. And it's the 3rd time in the last 4 games that they've had 20 turnovers. Here they get a steal and a slam by Jalen Hands.
The Egyptian Pharaoh just ran over our cameraman down there.
Yeah, Matt got the worst of that one. But look at him hop to his feet and shake off
toughness.
that
The
fall.
fierce tenacity, the passion, the spirit that we're just looking for everywhere. Throw it down and then boom. Now the next time I see you in the TSA line, that's what I'm going to do to you and say, that's not a foul.
A flight attendant will come over and scream flagrant 2, and you'll be ejected from the plane. Inside 6 to play here in Eugene. 13-point lead for Oregon.
Your dream. Now they're interchangeable here. Paul White, let it fly.
Rebound by Chris Smith. Still enough time for UCLA.
But he's playing well for UCLA. The entire tempo has been dictated since the 5-minute mark of this game by the Oregon Ducks, just off the mark.
They're 3 of 18 from 3. And now a whistle, foul call on Will Richardson. They are in the bonus, so UCLA will be at the free throw line.
One of the things that young players have to learn is how hard it is to become a champion. And how hard you have to work. And that's why I just love LeBron James and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, what they do in terms of every day bringing it. That's what the guys at Duke do. And that's what Krzyzewski teaches them, how to think like a champion, how to act like a champion, ultimately become a champion. And that ACC conference season is going to be spectacular. At North Carolina, Roy Williams, What conference is Syracuse in?
They're in the ACC. Sports Center with Michael Eaves and Zubin Mehenti is coming up. We're going to have the top 10 plays from the Rams and Chargers this season. Talk some LA NFL football with both teams still alive. Michigan stays undefeated. And how about the Nuggets, who have the best record in the Western Conference? Nikola Jokic, an outstanding player. I know you love him.
That guy is so beautiful to watch. I mean, a combination of Sabonis, of Larry Bird.
A lot of people compare him to you, Bill, and the way you played.
Really? Huh. I was lucky. I had great coaching, and I had phenomenal teammates.
They call a foul in Oregon here. It's going to be free throws on the other end. But what makes, speaking of Jokic, what makes
his vision
good passing when you're that size like yourself? It was a very good passer.
It comes back to that willingness to pass, to think, okay, what can I do to help my teammates? I was so lucky. Bill Russell was my hero. Bill Russell, every moment of his life was, what can I do to make the other guys better? And that's what Jokic does. And he sees things. He's like Joe Montana. He's like Pele. He's like Larry and Magic and all these great Steve Nash. It looks so wide open. And it looks so easy for them. But that's because of their mind. And that's what Jokic does. And he's just, it's like watching Bob Dylan write a song. It's like watching Jerry Garcia come up with a new lyric. It's like watching Neil Young see the chord progression to get to what's next. It's just absolutely fantastic.
4:40 on the clock. UCLA had a chance to cut it to single figures after the missed free throw, but could not get the putback.
I had the privilege to meet Nikola Jokic. I went to a Laker game at Staples at the start of the season. Lori and I took Pat and Stephanie Kilkenny. It's become an annual ritual for us. Great defense. And I got to meet and have my picture made with Nikola.
Lob for Brown, broken up. Beautiful play by Paul White.
Paul White has been the best big man in this game. And who would have ever thought coming in?
Well, UCLA, if it just made more, I mean, they're 9 of 19 at the line. They'd be,
at the line?
Yeah, and they'd be in the game despite having 21 turnovers, as many turnovers as field goals.
Wow.
And a timeout here by the Ducks.
I could not have been more wrong coming in thinking how this game was going to play out. Except Jamal, he would fake that pass, and the entire defense would come to me or to Larry Farmer, to Larry Hollyfield, or to Greg Lee, and then Jamal would just turn back and swish that 20-foot layup of his. What a great player. What a great guy.
Although that highlight package was about Victor Bailey, who has 3 assists and 14 points. How about Luke King, 17 points for the second straight game. He missed the 3 there, but there is White with the offensive rebound.
I'm giving the player of the game to Dana Altman, making these guys believe.
There's a foul on Smith.
You look around, every one of these guys has played well, including Peyton Pritchard. You've been dogging them all game long, and they are in complete control. Yes, you have. How many times have you said, you always say you already said that once. If I said that to you, oh my gosh, we would never get anywhere.
Dana Altman stressed today at shoot-around because they've gotten behind in some games. He said, you know, why can't we be the one to come out and throw the first punch?
That's what great teams do.
But again, he's got a lot of young guys. He's trying to mold a new team now that Bull Bull is done for the year because he was the featured guy. Everything was around him.
If you want to coach old guys, don't coach in college. This guy, Victor Bailey. I mean, between Victor Bailey and Paul White and King Louis IV, and it's just been fantastic.
By the way, Chris Smith having a rough game. He played well the last 2 games starting, has not scored in this game. He's been benched a couple times. Wilkes off the mark. Got it back though, puts it down, and he's fouled, so a chance to get it to 10 again with 3:25 to play.
Did you see where they arrested those 2 guys that defaced the Bruin Bear on campus at UCLA?
I was busy watching Chris Wilkes get a basket there.
That's called reading the news, please. And this has to do with UCLA. I was just so mad. A couple of young guys, fans of the USC Trojan program, great Trojans. These guys were not students at UCLA, but they went over there. They broke into the box. You were there. They the Bruin Bear and John Wooden were boxed up to protect them.
I was?
Yes. We had a game there.
I'm sure that was me. Prince Ali picks up the foul, his first, and the 19th foul will be another 1-and-1 for Oregon.
Have you ever ridden your bike on the old Mackenzie Highway?
No, I have not.
Have you ever been to the top of Mackenzie?
No, I have not. No.
Have you ever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Okay. So I was on my bike on the old Mackenzie Highway, and I came across Jim Smith. Oh my gosh, what a man of Oregon. He ran track here. Class of 1980.
In other news, a big missed free throw, so UCLA can cut it to single digits, but Prince Ali out of control. What was that? And now on the other end, a bucket and a foul by Richardson. Man, if that doesn't deflate you if you're a UCLA player.
Well, look at the body language. And UCLA, they're all sitting on the bench over there moping, having their hanging their heads. Oregon, they're up and down. They're saying, let's go. We're going to win this. We're taking it to the rim. Will Richardson. I've never seen him play better than he's played tonight.
He's got 9 points, 5 assists. He's a freshman from Georgia, went to Oak Hill Academy last year.
That's a good program.
Oregon
is that team in the NBA?
Oregon is 6 of 16 at the line. So we're talking about UCLA struggles, but the Ducks are actually worse at the strike tonight.
Great defense, Will Richardson.
Hands penetrates, no, the tip is good. Looked like Smith got that one. That's his first bucket of the night.
If you're Oregon, just keep attacking. You're breaking down and killing the Bruin defense literally with whatever you want to do. Don't pull it back out. Let that fly, Louis the King.
Wow, another one for King. 20 points, a new career high in just his 8th college game. Missed almost a full year with a knee injury, suffered his senior year of high school in January of 18. Ali comes back with a triple. And a timeout by UCLA.
One of the great things from my life is talking to King Louis IV before at practice today. No, this is turnovers forced.
Yeah, but 32 points off of those turnovers for Oregon. That's almost half their total for the game.
Oregon is not a great offensive team, but they have played a more determined game, taking it right to him, send it back, Chris Wilkes. But that's what I love about Victor Bailey. He is not backing out. Of all the guys I ever played against, when you become a great shot blocker, the other team eventually just stops coming. Dr. J, he never backed off. He kept coming and kept throwing it down. Oh my gosh. Paul White.
There he is again, offensive rebound.
You're old enough to remember Dr. J. Look, if you didn't see Akeem, you couldn't have seen Dr. J.
I did say Akeem. I said yes when you asked me that. You asked me if I was alive when Dirk played. He's still playing.
Dirk is phenomenal. Easily one of the greatest players ever.
Taking it strong, Richardson, no. UCLA has to treasure each possession here down the stretch to have any shot. Trailing by 10. Here's Smith, hits a three, and it's a 7-point game.
Ton of time here. You can't even get the ball in bounds. Please, Paul White, run the baseline. Throw the ball up the court. Come on.
That's exactly what Dana Altman was just saying, Bill. Run the baseline.
And look at the little Blue Jay. Grateful Dead, John Fogerty,
Slow down now.
Springsteen. Let's go, Nora.
We don't
Time
want
to, let's go. Let's pound it down.
No, I shouldn't have brought that up.
I love that. You didn't tell me. You were here for the Grateful Dead this summer at Autzen Stadium.
Back to the game. 1:15 to go.
Peyton's just going
to... Poor Noreen right now.
Okay.
Here's Richardson.
Jackson Brown.
UCLA, now you can't foul. You got to play it out here with a shot clock down to 7.
Victor Bailey.
No good, but an offensive rebound by King. And the putback. It might put the Bruins away.
Look at the passion and spirit, enthusiasm, and dustiness of these Ducks.
Three goes for Bernard, but is it too late?
So Murray Bartow has just gone with the scramble lineup right now.
They're going to put Richard at the line here. 89% free throw shooter. They're on the double bonus.
So have you ever been up there with all the lava and the Cascades here? Louis the King, man, that guy, really, this sense of anticipation of knowing where the ball's going. But when I was up there this summer and all that lava, and I kept just wondering, what degrades faster? Lava or plastic? Nobody knows how long it takes for plastic to degrade. The lava has degraded some.
I'll get right on it after this game. First point for Peyton Pritchard tonight, but he's done so many other things like rebounds. 6 rebounds. He's led the offense. He's gotten some deflections defensively. He is the lone holdover in terms of guys who are actually playing on that Final Four team from 2 years ago. Second team All Pac-12 a year ago. And he's closing in on 1,000 points for his career.
While you're working on the degrading of plastic, I'm going to go up to Minnesota with Noreen. Start singing some songs.
Hands hits a 3, and then that hit the foot of Pritchard. It's UCLA ball.
Oh my
6
goodness!
seconds left.
What an opportunity for the Bruins if they pull this one out.
And Murray Bartow.
Been stroking it. Jules Bernard, yeah. This little tiny lineup has finally been able to show signs of life offensively.
They've made their last 4 threes. They don't necessarily need a 3 here, but Hans is going to fire away.
Oh,
and he's
my
fouled.
gosh.
A foul on Amin. It'll be 3 free throws for Jalen Hans, who's a 75% foul shooter on the season.
Just be like the Sphinx if you're the Egyptian pharaoh out there. Just be stationary and don't let a guy who's shooting a jumper. That's like, what are you thinking?
UCLA on the night, 10 of 20.
And this guy, Amin, is a really smart guy. I mean, he goes to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. He's a 5th-year grad transfer student. And he's just delightful to talk to. He's turning his back on the little Blue Jay over there.
You mean Kevin McKenna? One more free throw coming as the first 2 go.
That's his nickname. Kareem gave it to him when they were Laker teammates. Kevin, the little Blue Jay. And what's his mom's name who's drinking up there tonight?
She's sipping, and only, again, it was supposed to be occasional, not like rapid fire 10 in a row. His brothers Dave and Tim do the same thing. So the brothers are doing it and Noreen's doing it. So hopefully Dave, Tim, and Noreen are okay right now.
So
Drinking
Jimmy
responsibly.
Cliff.
Drinking responsibly. Hands with one more free throw. It's good. It's a 2-point game. 32.8 on the clock.
Eric Burden.
You got a foul. And
Push the ball. Push the ball.
they get it across.
Pass it, please.
Trap.
Keep it moving. Don't let them foul you. They got to foul the ball. Nice ball, Mo.
And now the foul comes. There's a 2-second difference between the game and shot clocks. You knew at some point they were going to foul, and it's Bernard picking up the personal. And so Victor Bailey, who he's the one guy you don't want to foul. Bill, he is 25 of 26 on the season, including 2 for 2 tonight.
So the discipline, the organization of this Duck program, the way they work at it. Peyton and Victor are always the first guys out here. They're the leaders. Were your parents broadcasters? Are your parents broadcasters?
No.
How'd you get here?
I took a plane from LA this morning.
What were you doing there?
Bailey
Look
gets
at
the
that
second one. It's a
throw.
4-point game. UCLA has to hustle.
Now, if you're Oregon, just don't foul them. Wow, that's a lot of dribbling.
Wasting a lot of time. Hands to the basket. Takes a wild shot. Here's Ali for 3. It's good with 3.8 left.
Okay,
No
now
timeouts.
Throw the ball up the court if you're Paul White.
They inbound it to Pritchard, and he's fouled.
So Peyton Pritchard's a great clutch player. I mean, this guy's been playing basketball at the highest levels forever. When he came here as a 4-time state champion in Oregon.
How about this? Prince Ali just hoists it, knowing he's got to get one up here quickly because they need another possession.
That's
and
a
he buries
fantastic, perfect play by Prince Ali.
it. So even if Pritchard makes these free throws, UCLA out of timeouts would have a chance to tie, but 3.3 on the clock. You got to get it up quickly.
But Peyton Pritchard, I mean, he even had doubts when he got here because he thought he was just going to take over. Didn't start the first 4 games of the season. They lost the first game at the Maui Gym. We were there. And then the next game, Dana Altman said, Peyton Pritchard, you're in the starting lineup. Casey Benson goes to the bench. He eventually transferred out of school. And Peyton Pritchard has never left that starting lineup since that 5th game of his college career.
If you're Oregon, do you foul on the inbound if Pritchard makes the basket?
Yes.
Pritchard gets it. It's a 3-point game.
Perfect.
They inbound the hands and they foul him. So Hands will go to the line to shoot 2 with 2.6 left. And so what Murray Bartow's going to do, Bill, he's going to go put Moses Brown in and Jalen Hill to make the first and then miss the second, try to get the rebound.
Really? Boy, thanks.
Well, normally the analyst says that. I just didn't know if you were going to go there. So I figured
okay, the game of basketball was invented in 1891. Okay, now this one's got to be missed. Okay, put it up there high. And if you're the UCLA guys, take a risk. Don't wait for it to come to you. Go get it. Be there first. And you don't have to stick it back in. You can tip it out.
Got to hit the rim.
Where's Prince Ali? On the bench? I just made a game-saving.
It hits the rim. Rebound. Brown had it. Oh, Chris Smith got it with 7/10 of a second left, and he's fouled. Chris Smith ties the game at 80. He can possibly win it at the line. What's happened here in Eugene?
Oh, my God.
They were out of the game a minute ago.
You've got to be able to get a defensive rebound if you expect to win. They're going to look at this, and that's going to give UCLA a chance.
Bill, they were done. They were cooked. The game was over.
Moses Brown gets in there. He keeps it alive. And then it's Chris Smith into the starting lineup. And look at the Bruins now. How happy, how ecstatic. They've got a chance. They live. The men of Oregon have now been pushed to the side. And he's got a free throw attempt here.
And they're looking to see how much time is on the clock here just to make sure there's 7/10 of a second left.
Incredible turn of events. Who would have ever thought? Chris Smith up by the referee behind the line. He comes in. Nobody boxes him out. That's basically basketball 101. You match up with everybody when you know they're trying to miss. Remember when they had to change the rules because the guys would fly in from behind the three-point line.
Chris Smith trying to give UCLA the lead. He has not shot a free throw tonight. He had not scored until about 5 minutes ago, and he's made his 3 shots that he's taken. He missed it!
Overtime. What more could we ask for? Conference of Champions at Dana Altman.
Free throw go for Hands. Then you saw them intentionally miss the second one. Murray Bartow put his bigs in. Moses Brown tapped the balls at 7-1, and then it was cleaned up inside by 6'9" Chris Smith. But he missed a free throw. Had a chance to maybe win the game there.
Oregon did everything right to win this game. And now with all the momentum on UCLA's side, but the Ducks, they have their fans. These incredible Oregonians who believe. Great defense, Moses Brown.
But other than that, how does Oregon get back the mojo they had earlier?
Peyton Pritchard, Victor Bailey, who was inexplicably on the bench. Offensive foul.
It's on Jalen Hill, his third.
Bruins are dribbling the ball too much. Come up the court and pass it.
By the way, Lewis King and Will Richardson both with 4 personal fouls for Oregon. Nobody with 4 fouls for UCLA. Each team.
How many fouls for Victor Bailey?
Bailey has 3.
Not sure why he did not start the overtime. Paul White should be at the free throw line, not out behind the three-point line.
How about UCLA overcoming 22 turnovers, 14 in the first half. Here's Pritchard from outside. Short, rebound by Bailey.
Beautiful decision to pull it out of Moses Brown's intimidating defensive presence. Don't kill clock. Kill the opposition. Attack.
It was 74-65 with 1 minute to go in regulation.
Nice. Beautiful play, Victor Bailey.
Oregon by 2.
That's how you attack a great shot blocker. Go right at him, get in his face, and out quick him to the hoop.
Bailey with 20, King with 22, 14 for Wilkes, 14 for Hands for UCLA. Ducks trying to get their first win in conference play. The Bruins trying to go to 3-0 since Steve Alford was fired after that 4-game losing streak. Here's Hands. Ricks a 3, batted out of play. Oregon ball.
Over dribbling by the UCLA guards. If you're pounding the ball, you should be thinking about passing to somebody else moving without the ball. coming off a downscreen, coming off a cross screen, back cutting. What does Dana Altman say on a constant basis? Make a play for somebody else.
Here's King,
Now,
tough shot.
Look at King.
Got it back and kicks it out. Now White for three.
Oh my God.
And a foul
Will
on
Richardson.
UCLA. Chris Smith picks up his third foul. Both teams in the double bonus, so 2 free throws for Will Richardson.
This is how you get offensive rebounds. He's coming from 15 feet away. The shot way off the mark. Then Jalen Hill, Moses Brown, bigger, stronger. Chris Smith, but this little guy, left-hander from near Savannah, down by the coast, down by the beach, southern Georgia. The free throw shooting of this Duck team, and the Bruins have missed double-digit free throws.
Well, both have. Oregon's missed 10. UCLA's missed 12, including the potential game winner by Chris Smith, who's an 80% free throw shooter with 7/10 of a second left.
They are called free. Take them. Will Richardson, Peyton Pritchard, and Victor Bailey have done here at the free throw line. Superb for Dana Altman. Look at Richardson's defense here. This guy has grown up literally overnight.
UCLA yet to score here in the extra session. Ali penetrates. Foul on the floor, so no basket. Will still be 2 free throws, though. Bailey just picked up his 4th foul. Ali to the line, 63% shooter on the year.
Can you call that in overtime? Incidental contact. Please, let him play. Didn't come here to watch free throw shooting.
Ali is 2 of 4 tonight. Has 18 points, 4 threes, and a lot of his baskets came late when they were making that comeback. Junior from Bronx.
He's been very good tonight. And when he's on his game, the Bruins become unbeatable because this guy can fill it up. Doesn't always bring it.
That was a big triple, though, to bring UCLA within 1 with 30 seconds left at the end of regulation. Keep their hopes alive. Got the second free throw, so it is 84-82 Oregon midway through overtime here in Eugene.
What a great crowd here tonight. The Bruins able to fight them off. Paul White's playing extremely far from the basket area.
I think that's just to break the pressure. Now he's in the high post. On the attack goes at Brown.
Look at
Great offensive rebound by
Goodness
King.
gracious. Play of the game for the Ducks.
Shot clock though at 4.
He's left-handed.
Richardson, no good.
Oh, right.
And ahead to Prince Ali. They don't have numbers. That's the wrong guy to pass it to in that situation. And they turn it over.
Oh, my God.
That's kind of the story of the season, though, for UCLA. Just poor decision making.
Great job by Jalen Hands. Come over there, take his throat, and just push his head back up in the air. Say, let's go, come on. And this game's still going. You should try that with you when you start whining. Jeez.
Brown missed the 3. UCLA can tie or take the lead on this possession inside 2 minutes to go.
This has been remarkable. That's why we love this game. Anything can happen at any moment, including pushing the guy's head up.
Ali gets
Yes,
it off the window to tie the game at 84.
The Prince, Moses, the Pharaoh, King. What a game. Why are you killing clock? You need to score.
Now they're working that zone to see if they get into the high post to Paul White again.
Beautiful.
Oh, he lost the ball. He was going in for the dunk after that great fake.
And he hung on the rim. Boy.
UCLA can take the lead. Again, they were down 9 with a minute to go in regulation. Had a chance to win it on a free throw by Chris Smith. He couldn't hit it. We're in overtime. And now the Bruins with an opportunity to go in front for the first time since early on in the game. Hands gets the bounce.
Oh, my God.
It's a 2-point basket, says Mike Cyphers. It's 86-84.
Dana says you got to go.
They have 2 timeouts left, Oregon.
They don't need timeouts. They need buckets. They need creativity. The spacing is poor now.
Richardson. Pritchard. Shot clock down to 7.
Bruins defense has come alive.
Pritchard.
Moses Brown.
How about this? They've got a foul.
Take him to the promised land, Moses.
That was smart by Oregon to immediately grab Brown. He's only a 37% free throw shooter. Paul White picks up his 4th foul. Brown is 1 for 2 at the line tonight. He's got 12 rebounds in the game.
So Jalen should go over right now and just grab his chin and push it back up and say, come on, you're our champion, you're our savior. You're going to deliver us to the top of the mountain. That's in your face the way you called him out at 37%.
I just said what his percent, but here's what you're talking about. Jalen Hand showing leadership. Keep your chin up, young man. That's what UCLA has needed, Bill. That's what they need. Oregon with the timeout left. He does miss it, so let's see if Oregon uses the timeout. They can still get a quick 2.
Well, UCLA should think about fouling here and not let them get that tying 3.
8 seconds to go.
Foul now, foul now.
Pritchard kicks it out.
No.
Corner 3, King. No good with 2 seconds left. Batted out of play. 0.2 of a second to go. It's Oregon ball. They're going to go to the monitor. First of all, Bill, to see who touched it last. And second of all, do they put more time on the clock? It's crucial if they don't, because if it's 0.2 of a second left, you can't catch and shoot.
They very well could put some time on, but Dana Altman is a genius at drawing up last-second plays. They practice them all the time, and what he loves to do is throw it to one guy who does a dump-off pass.
But how, with 0.2 of a second left, you can't catch and shoot? You're basically done because you're down 3. That's why it's critical here if they end up putting 1/10 of a second or more on.
Depends on where you throw the ball. Throw it up at the basket area. Throw it to somebody who barely touches it off and then put it up.
So I guess then if you're UCLA, you just get out of the way, right? You just get away, and that way
guard the three-point line.
Well, but I'm saying
think about fouling too.
Well, with 0.2 of a second left, though, again, all they can do is just tip it, so you just stay out of the way and don't risk fouling a guy and having him tip it in.
But you have to guard the guy, and you have to make him receive the ball going away from the basket. Don't let him get it on the run going to the basket. Keep everybody in front of you if you're UCLA. If you're Oregon, you got to have a ton of movement and interchange to get free.
It's funny, PJ Carlissimo is doing the game tonight for Western One, was talking about the Trent Tucker rule today. We were talking about that 0.3 of a second in the NBA has to go off the clock. You don't have that rule in college, but it has to be 0.3 of a second or more to have a catch and shoot situation.
I thought that was the Derek Fisher rule.
Well, originally it was Trent Tucker. So again, right there, it looks like 0.3, Bill. It looked like 0.3 of a second from that look. But it's still a lot to ask. Catch and shoot with 0.3 of a second left on a 25-footer, but at least it gives him a chance if it's 0.3. There's PJ.
He's on his way out.
He's got a flight back to Seattle, or at least he did in about 45 minutes, but it looks like he'll be joining us for dinner.
Oh, my gosh.
And actually, that was the other thing. They're going to say 0.4 on the clock. Mike Reed just signaled the wrong way. He just signaled it was UCLA ball. That's a mistake. It's Oregon ball with 0.4, so they can catch and shoot.
If you're UCLA, you have to pressure the ball. They're taking Moses Brown out. Make the Ducks receive going away, and then don't foul. Don't get. If they back cut you for a 2-point shot, fine. Oregon, though, the movement and the activity away from the ball is going to be critical, and the guy who's throwing it in. They're calling another timeout. Mike's coming over here to talk to us.
So Mike Cyphers is coming over to talk to us while Mike Reed looks at it. And again, they're going back here. So you think it's UCLA ball? So Mike Cyphers says,
let's see this again.
UCLA ball, but Mike Reed pointed towards Oregon. Now they're saying it's UCLA ball. Oregon thought that they had possession. So they were looking first at who touched it last.
They're saying Paul White hit it out of the bounds. And his body movement
Boy, neither coach was sure who had possession there.
Yeah, that's
and so
off
now
Paul White right there.
UCLA inbounding. Oregon.
Throw it up the court.
And that's it. UCLA, what a comeback. Down 9 with a minute to go in regulation. Wins in overtime to go to 3-0 in the Pac-12.